Good morning, everybody. This is the Cigar Show, episode 18.
We're almost to 20, guys.
2 away from 20, bud.
Hey, 18. Right?
Why are you saying it to me?
I was saying it to Faith, actually. I wasn't talking.
Okay. All right. Nobody talks to me.
Hey, I talk to you, buddy. Come on.
I know. I'm just teasing.
Okay.
Anyway, this is the Cigar Show. We're at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas. I am Randy Rankin. This is the gorgeous Faith Cox. The super cool Tony G, or Tony Gomez, as he likes to be called, because that's his name. And then
How's everybody doing this
we
morning?
got great Jerry Morris behind the camera, and we are ready to roll.
All right.
What are we doing today?
We're gonna talk about some stuff today. Is that cool?
Okay, yeah.
You in the mood for talking stuff?
Yeah, I think they like it when we talk about stuff.
It does add content, that's for sure. Well, our apologies to Faith. She has been shut out of 2 of the last 3 episodes because we had the Todd episode, and then last week we talked baseball. So
yeah, baseball.
we're gonna make this. Yeah, you were real excited, I can tell. So we're gonna make this. We're gonna sell out to the audience because really that's probably why they only watch it anyway. She is Miss Polk County, so we've got to let her have her way today. So.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, Tony came up with the idea though, and I think it's really good.
Thank you, Tony.
The design of a cigar shop / lounge.
The aesthetic.
Yeah, the aesthetic look.
Yeah.
The
So,
aesthetic look? That made no sense. That's like the look.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody knows what you mean, Randy. Sorry.
Thank you. Somebody does at least. Anyway, so let me say, sorry, this is a weird show already. So hold on, guys. We got 20 more minutes of
I can't be responsible for the mood of Randy Rankin, so I'm sorry, folks.
I can't either, and I'm him. But anyway, I just don't want to get choked up, that's for sure. But
Fill the clip. Talk amongst yourselves.
Anyway, so let me just get my little spiel in, and then I will get the heck out of the way and let you steamroll us over. So I've seen a lot of stores, obviously Tony has too,
Yeah.
and there's certain ones that I wouldn't think I would like if you would describe it to me, but when I walk in it, I'm like, oh, that's actually a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of them. When Matt was showing me the paint and everything, I thought this is going to look ridiculous. I did not think that was good at all. I thought, why are you going with those colors? Those aren't guy colors. This is a cigar lounge. It's supposed to be guy-like. Then when I saw it, I was like, oh, that works. You know, so I'm more visual. I have to see it to really determine if I like it or not.
Yeah.
So,
I'm the complete opposite. I have such a good, vibrant imagination that it's easy for me to visualize things. And I think that's one of the things, one of the reasons why this is going to be one of my favorite episodes, because it's easy for me to think about.
Okay.
And design. So anyway, I'll let you.
Okay. So Tony, what you probably can relate to what I was saying about when you see different stores. You know, the seeing it really makes it more.
Yeah, you
come
have
alive,
there are different types of. Even though we all smoke cigars, and this is the common thing that brings us together. This is like the so-called common thread, and we never lose sight of this. But there are different types of shops for different demographics. You do have several types of shops that you have your small smoke shops that are really kind of fading away these days. You know, the small shop that is owned by the older guy who has owned it for years and whatnot, and he sells all kinds of tobacco products, and people go there and they leave, and a few of them sit and smoke. They'll have a small sitting area,
right?
Which really we've kind of progressed as an industry, I believe, in the cigar lounge realm. I think you have your shops that are geared more towards your sports fans, definitely, and then you have your shops that are geared more towards nightlife. But then you also have shops that I call more kind of like metropolitan shops. They kind of keep everything kind of streamlined. All the ashtrays are the same. All the tables are the same. The colors are very black, white, gray. You know, more of kind of like the, like I said, a metropolitan look, or kind of like what I call the DMA look, the Dallas Museum of Art look. You know, there's a couple shops that spring to mind right away when I think of that. They keep the walls kind of very clean. They don't put a lot of signage up.
It's very sterile.
There you go.
It's very sterile. And there's one in town that we won't mention any names of anybody.
But
there is one in town that's the first thing I thought of when I walked in. I felt like I was in a hospital room.
And
Very clean, very sterile.
Yeah.
It just didn't have any warmth.
And some people, you know, some people like that because they'll put on a certain type of music. They have their certain type of drink. They have their certain cigar that they like when they're there. It's more of kind of, some people feel it's more of an upscale feel. Then you have your shops that really are very traditional. I went to a shop this week, visited earlier Monday morning, and it was laid out beautifully. And the chairs were right. I mean, the old, it had a mix of like just the old traditional brown leather, and it was just great. I mean, it really was. Every once in a while, you want that. Every once in a while, I like the Metropolitan shop. So it's really kind of like, you know, we don't always go and eat at the same restaurants. We don't always, when I did drink, I didn't always drink at the same bar. It is according to the mood, what you want to have that day. You know, what kind of music you want to listen to. My favorite shop in town, and you know, and everybody knows it's no big secret. It's down in the Bishop Arts District, but very conducive to
It was nice of them to
conversation.
But that's okay.
Hey, you know, so anyway, it has the environment and it has the furniture setting and everything to where people talk and congregate over leaf, over music, coffee, everything like that. So that's if I had to choose my favorite type of shop, that would be the one to where you can go without the television. You can listen to good music and drink good coffee and or whatever you'd like to drink, whatever is your pleasure. You know, most shops are set up for BYOB.
Right.
So I'm kind of like
based on
there.
what you and I talked about this morning, I actually, the stuff he's talking about popped into my head. And it's definitely what you and I were talking about this morning. Brick.
Oh yeah.
You would really like that shop.
Yeah. So what would you say that this cigar lounge is kind of styled as?
I would say somewhat new metropolitan kind of. It's casual, but metropolitan.
Yeah, and
But you're the pro, so what do you think?
I'm definitely not the pro, but
There you are.
But I do love design, and I talk about it all the time. But see, for me, I think one of my favorite aspects of cigar lounges and what always either sets me off, you know, or like just makes it not enjoyable for me is going to be lighting. So I like cigar lounges that have good lighting and if possible natural lighting. It just feels fresh and airy, and it's not like you're in a cave, like you're boxed in. No. It's fine that is what some people like. Like Tony was saying, there's like all different types. There's jazz themed cigar lounges. There's like new age, new metropolitan feels. Very traditional. I've been in traditional shops. I've been in cigar lounges.
Thought I turned it off. My bad.
Yeah. In his defense, he got a new iPhone. He's joined the iPhone world.
Yes, and I'm confused, but
So,
that's okay.
I'm still teaching him how to use his phone.
Yes,
It's
thank
okay.
you, babe. You may continue.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, so a lot of what's going to set that feel is going to be the lighting and the colors that you use, and then what you add to it. So music, TVs, the types of furniture you use, stuff like that. So everybody has their own preference. I like the lighter ones. I like the airy, more, at least some outdoor lighting. This place has some plants, which is nice. Yeah, I like this place. But
Well, Tony can attest, because he and Jerry can too. Our old location, I loved it because I was there all the time, so it grew on me. But one thing I didn't like about the old store was the lounge was too dark. It was so dark in that lounge. You remember that? It was.
I do
it was
remember.
Like, it was like a cave.
I
And
do
you'd walk
remember.
into the retail part and you'd be blinded because the sun, it was that big of a contrast. And to me, when I first started going there, I wanted to sit and read and smoke a cigar, and I couldn't read in the room. It was too dark, you know. And so when Matt was talking about moving over to here, that was the first thing I told him was, I said, please make it, you know, better lit. I mean, let's have more lighting in here. And he said, oh yeah. And if you've noticed, you've been here in the evenings, and she's been here a lot in the evenings. I don't even like it in the evenings when Mary and Matt dim the lights. I don't like that.
No.
I don't want it light. Like
Yeah.
you said, I want it bright, happy, warm. You know,
Yeah.
when it's dark, it kind of just feels not
Maybe.
seedy, but it just feels like you're hiding something. That's just what I always think of when I think of a
Yeah.
dark room. I feel like I'm hiding something or something's being hidden from me.
Yeah, and the purpose of that is to make you feel more relaxed,
Yeah.
make you feel
I
more
got you.
calm and
Yeah.
sleepy. And
Yes, very much
Yeah.
so.
And actually, psychology offices use that
Mhm.
technique. They have very dim lit rooms that don't have a lot of natural light because it's supposed to be calming.
Yeah.
So I noticed that a lot of psychology offices use that technique as well as cigar shops. I like I was saying, I like the lighter ones much
Yeah.
better. I think that the rule of thumb is you should still be able to read a book. If you can't read a book, it's too dark.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything lighter or to that point is fine, but if you can't read a book, it's too dark.
Yeah.
Trust me when I say that.
Yeah. can see
I
that.
think when you go into a lounge, one of the lounges that I actually worked at, there was fluorescent tube lighting, and that was the first thing I would do because I was there in the evenings. I used to run the evening portion of this shop, and one of the first things I would do was make sure that was dimmed down because one of the guys said one time, and I always felt the same way. It feels like you're in an office if you have some fluorescent tube lighting.
Well, yeah, with that type of lighting. of
Yeah,
course.
and I know what you're talking about. You're talking about because there's different type of lighting here. It's not like
Right.
fluorescent lighting. So what I would do is knock down that lighting, bring the lighting down to where it was more of a relaxed environment. I would put music on, always something conducive. It depended on who was there. And a lot of times what I would do is I would get a consensus from the crowd. Like, hey guys, what do we want to listen to tonight? We want to listen to jazz, a little bit of classic rock, a little bit of country, whatever it was. And, and I kind of let the people that went to the shop
Absolutely.
kind of have a lot of input as sorts of like, hey man, put this on or put that on. A lot of times it's older guys that are at the lounges. And every once in a while we feel a little
Which one,
nostalgic.
me?
Well,
When you say older guys.
Yeah, I'm pointing towards Faith, yeah. So anyway, what I mean is they want to hear,
Our first F-bomb on
they
the show, I just
they would
said
say
an F-bomb.
they would say something like, well, hey man, put some Boston on, or put
Yeah.
some Steely Dan on, or something. You know what I mean? Something from that they used to listen to back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And I would always do that, man, and they were always appreciative of that.
Yeah.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. But lighting is
Yeah.
very important.
So what did you think when you first walked in here as far as the aesthetic?
I actually really liked it. I really liked the layout. They had different groupings of chairs and areas. So, and I love that they have so many plugs here because, as a millennial, yes, I will call myself a millennial. This one time, last time I'm ever gonna call myself
Okay,
that.
write it down, folks.
But sometimes I used to bring my computer, or I would bring, or my phone's dying, as it always is. Or I'm working on a project. I usually don't do work in a lounge. I usually just do entertainment stuff. But sometimes I'm on my computer, on my phone, or I'm reading a book. So this lounge kind of suits everybody. People
Yeah.
who want to sit at the bar, people who want to sit on their own and work on their computer, or they want to be in their own in a corner, or they want to sit at the table with their friends and drink. This lounge suits everybody so well.
Yeah.
Every different type of group that wants to come in here.
Yeah.
And I think that the layout of this place and how he built it was wonderful. Yes, I could see how the color scheme might have seemed odd, but once he put it together, he
It
did
worked.
well with it.
Yeah.
He did well with it.
And I wasn't working for Matt when the store was being done. I was repping at the time. But because Matt and I were close and we respected each other's opinion, he would run ideas by me. And it got to the point where I don't remember whose idea was whose because we were kind of on the same page a lot.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you'll see, we had plugs at every freaking station here. And that was by design so that people could hook up to their laptops, could charge their cell phones, could do whatever they needed to do. I mean, there's plugs all over the place.
I myself, when I go to a lounge, I'm not the type of guy that will go into work. Sometimes I will, and a lot of times I do work here.
Yeah.
But it's during the day or something, and it's while we're still in business hours. And that is it's one of the requests that, yes, a lot of guests do have these days.
Yeah.
We're living in a digital age.
Yeah.
You can sit there and try
We're
to
all
like,
plugged in nowadays.
there you go. You can sit there and you can try to bang your head against the wall and say, no technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, come on, man. You got to get with it these days because everything's done digitally now.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I've always felt that it's great to have them there when they're needed, and a lot of times, sometimes they're utilized and sometimes they're not. I think it's great when a shop puts them there
Yeah.
and lets the consumer and slash smoker make the decision.
Yeah.
And in our private lounge, well, it's not really a private lounge, but in our locker lounge, which is open, by the way, so call us and check about renting a locker. You notice there is a table back. There's a computer table
Yeah.
that's hooked up, and you can plug in a printer,
Yeah.
and everything's set back there. So you're-
And another thing that's useful that some cigar shops may or may not think of is hosting events, which sometimes host food,
yeah.
such as crock pots, warmers, stuff like that. Plugging up food for hosting events.
Food is a big part of the
Yeah.
cigar lounge. Of the events. Yeah, that's a good
Absolutely.
point.
Yeah.
Randy, you mentioned a computer desk in the back, and that's real neat. But I got a funny story for you. I worked at a lounge where there was one desk in the private lounge,
Yeah.
and it really wasn't a desk. It was just a folding table that they had set up with a lamp on it and everything. And so,
Right.
but I had two guys that would try to show up earlier
To try to beat each other.
each other. Yes, and then we would have to like make makeshift desks for them around the back of the lounge.
Right.
Because we wanted these guys to be happy. They were
Right.
members, and they were, so. But yes, that is a common thing. People do put workstations in some lounges. I know a place in Houston. Randy. We were talking about Stogies.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and mention the name of it. But anyway.
Well, they're not competition.
Yeah, they're in another city. So, but they actually have used to be a jewelry store. And they still have the little sections to where people could go and take their gemstones or whatever and
Yeah, it's
look
like
through them.
cubicles. There's like little
Yeah.
cubicles.
So
areas
and
there.
they rather than knock that out, they utilized that and they made those like workstations with.
And they have a conference room. in
And
there.
that's right.
And that's what we can do here.
And that's
also.
another thing. There are some lounges that have conference rooms, and what they do is at night sometimes they'll flip that conference room to a poker room.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of stuff, man, that goes on in lounges. It's just every type is out there now,
Okay.
and I think what that is you have to make things conducive to the consumer slash smoker, and the most important part of that is consumer. Because people are spending money in these lounges and they want to feel comfortable.
Right.
You have to remain competitive.
Yeah.
It's something that's going to be with us for the remainder of the existence of cigar lounges.
Yeah.
And it's just we're just living in that age. It has to happen.
Right. Well, let me ask you this thing. Because I remember a conversation, a friend of ours, Nate, we all know him. We kind of like him. He's
Nate.
okay.
Yeah.
He's okay. Anyway, but I remember he and I at the old store one time, we're talking, playing the if I won the lottery game, what you would do.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you could design your perfect cigar store, what would you design?
Everybody's.
And what I came up with then, I would hate now. But I kind of liked the idea of the old stuffy, big leather chairs, dark, like a library type feel, the wealthy library in a house
Right.
kind of feel, I kind of thought that. I
Very
thought bookshelves and stuff would have been cool and things
Traditional.
like that, and
put
with
some,
rugs on
You're
the
gonna
floor.
put
and
some
stuff.
ducks up. And
But now it's like if I saw, and I did see one, and it was not in my territory. So if you were one of my customers, this is not your store. But I was in another state, and I saw one that was like what I thought, and I was like, "Oh, I don't like this."
Huh.
So I changed my opinion on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
So-
then that's part of it.
Would you like that? Would that be something too stuffy for you, or?
No, it's actually mostly about space.
Yeah.
So if I feel like I'm boxed in, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But as far as style, I don't really mind as long as I'm comfortable. But the idea of having a library
Yeah.
type thing and traditional brown leather chairs and a nice old carpet, Persian carpet or
Yeah.
just some type of Bohemian maybe carpet, I would love that. That actually sounds really good to me.
Yeah. And I'd want a fireplace in there too.
Oh.
That would be so awesome, like
Every
a big
cigar-
cobblestone fireplace.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
And
there's lounges.
Yeah.
I can think of a couple right off the bat that have a fireplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that it's hard to in this industry and in this day and age, it's hard to find a place with a nice cobblestone fireplace. But if that's an option, it's a good one.
Yeah, it would be. That would
It's
be very cool.
a very good one.
You probably need a freestanding building to have.
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
you know.
So it's not really going to work for everybody, but it really all comes down to what you prefer. So let me ask you guys this: what are some things that drive everybody away? Like some absolute no-nos as far as design or aesthetics. I'm going to go ahead and throw out one. Is
Okay.
Now this is a little bit my opinion, is playing politics. Bringing in
Yeah.
politics and news shows. Because we have TVs in here, and we, like with our music, sometimes we let the customers or the people that are in here say, hey, there's a game on, or hey, let's watch this, or,
Yeah.
we kind of cater to that. But
I, to be honest, I don't.
Mhm.
If there's one customer in here and he's by himself and he wants to watch Fox News or CNBC or CNN or whatever, I'll turn it on. But I'll let them know that if another customer comes in, we're changing it. I try to keep it as
Least.
neutral as possible. And sports, you can watch sports. You don't have to hear it. It can be on. You can read. You can do your work. I think sports are safe. Not going to cause any arguments or not going to cause any kind of debates. Other than friendly
and I
type
think
stuff.
that I think what it boils down to is adding to the calm, friendly atmosphere of a lounge. And sometimes playing the news or playing obnoxious music
Yeah.
way too loud,
Yeah.
or some lounges I understand have a no alcohol rule because they serve a more rowdy crowd and
Yeah.
they get out of hand and they make people uncomfortable, so they don't serve alcohol in their lounge anymore. So those different things I think all adds to the aesthetic.
You got to
having
remember your
calm-
audience. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
remember your audience. And generally speaking, most cigar smokers are 35 and older. And you don't want to have you're the exception, obviously, and Jaren even. You don't want the 20-year-old blaring hip-hop music when there's a 60-year-old in here just wanting to sit and read his paper and
Yeah.
smoke a cigar. He doesn't want to hear that kind of music, or thrash metal or something like that. That's just not.
Thrash metal.
not
I'm glad. I like the way you covered both bases.
I did.
That way it
I
didn't
did.
seem like
I
you were
did.
going.
Hey, I'm politically correct. But,
That was real smooth, man. I like that.
Thank
But
you.
I'm in agreement
But it's not
with you
that,
on
it's not
that.
that smooth though if you call me out on it.
I'm a real big believer in that, and also, and there are times to where, like, I truly believe that the music should be turned up, like nighttime events and stuff, and if the crowd is into it. I remember one lounge I worked at, man, we would crank the music up and the place would get real crowded.
Yeah.
People liked it.
Yeah.
And that's what it was about. We were selling a lot of cigars and people were socializing and having a good time, having their drinks. And it was more, I think that goes when it's an event, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I think when people are just there and it's just a regular lounge type setting, when it's a non-event night, you always kind of want to leave it, like you said, kind of neutral. I certainly am a big believer in checking your politics and your ego at the door.
Yeah.
I really think that, because what you're coming into a cigar lounge for is to forget your day.
Yeah.
The whole thing about, having one of these and a nice cup of coffee is I just want to relax, man. I want to forget my stress for just a little bit. I want to forget, everything that I have going. I want to forget about business, everything. I just want to relax for a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you're going to sit there and you're going to pump me up with, political opinions, social opinions,
Yeah.
it inhibits that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It really just kind of infringes upon that.
And I was shocked when I became a rep and would go to stores. I figured 90% of the stores would play sports. That's what I figured I would see. But Tony it does. It's about 60% news, politics and stuff, and 40% sports. And I was just blown away by that. I didn't realize, because I was like, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
But some people do like to sit around and argue politics. I don't. I could care less.
I think if there's one thing that I had to pick that drives away customers, and this is a kind of like a personal beef of mine, when the retailer, the person working the store, is watching their own TV shows
Yeah.
at a lounge or a movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something that, you know, you're not there to watch TV that night. You're there to be an employee of the lounge. You're there to serve the people that you're hosting, smoking in the lounge. You know, I think when you sit there and you put a movie on and you say, hey, no, you know, we're not playing music, we're watching a movie. And that did happen with a retail location that I was managing one time. We had someone that was doing that. We found out about it, and that had to be taken care of right away.
Yeah.
Because that certainly does, it alienates people.
Yeah.
It really does. And it makes smokers, you know, and like I say, you know, consumers/smokers, it makes them feel like my opinion doesn't matter here. Like what I want in this lounge doesn't matter. You're not taking care of it.
I'll turn the porn off when people come in here, man.
Well, that's good.
No, I won't do that.
That's, you know, hey, you know, you don't have to on my account, buddy, but you know, you go right ahead. You know, thumbs up to you, buddy.
Oh crap! Customers here, turn off the porn. But no, so, we never watch porn.
I tell you what, I will.
I've seen stores that have.
I tell you what, I've had the occasional customer sitting there with their phone or their laptop, and they're watching some naughty video, and you got to kind of check them on that. You got to kind of say, hey, bud, you know, we're not a downright /right, you know, or downright family / you know, childlike environment. I know that. I know this is an adult environment, but you got to have parameters. But
right,
that's most important, man.
At least privately, but like out loud.
But
anyway,
you know, the thing is though is that you know, the thing is that you parameters in a cigar lounge are very important. Also, it is very easy to let your store the patrons of your lounge overtake your lounge. Mm-hmm. So it's a delicate balance. You have to be very diplomatic about it. Working in a lounge is something that you just have to have the special touch for. Mm-hmm. You can't just say, no, these are the rules, that's it. You have to, you know, and sometimes it's, you know, sometimes with some customers, you don't always get along with them. Yeah. And that's just a truth.
Well, that's just life. Yeah. That's life in general.
Exactly. So you can't please all of the people all of the time, is what I always say. But you try your hardest. You know, you stick with the guidelines of the shop, and you know, you try to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, you try to keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to kind of wrap this up, but before we do, let's let her have her moment, okay, Tony?
My moment to shine.
Faith, describe. Okay, I've given you ample amount of money to design your own store.
Oh boy.
Explain it to me.
Oh Lord.
Walk us through the ultimate Faith cigar store.
You walk in. It's at least 4 floor-to-ceiling windows with panes, like different panes, probably and white walls. And I know that that's odd, and I don't actually know how that's going to work with cigars. And I might ask all that because I know that based on, now that they're different from cigarettes, I understand, but my grandparents did smoke cigarettes and they never cleaned their walls. And so after 20 years of smoking cigarettes, it just coated their walls.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that happens to...
It does, but that's why you try to do colors like this so that you don't...
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes
does.
sense. So
you could go into some lounges and,
But now the windows thing would be a pain. It would be beautiful, no pun intended with window and pane, but the pane to clean, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But it would look great.
Yeah, it would look great.
But I wouldn't want to work at that store because I'm not cleaning the windows.
Well, then I won't pay you to work.
Okay,
I'll
good.
pay somebody else to clean the
Well,
windows.
no, if you win the lottery, you have all this money, then I'm not working.
Okay, so...
You just pay me and I don't do anything.
So I would want... I love the I'm like moving right on with
Go ahead. Go ahead. Steamroll right over us.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good. I like his idea earlier of darker floors, like stained concrete, you said?
Yeah.
I also really like the idea of like a really tall bookshelf, almost library style bookshelf, with books that you can read if you're there. Kind of library style. I'll have like different popular collections and stuff. And if I had it my way, man, I would have the fireplace.
Yeah.
And I would have cushy leather chairs. I would keep it classic. It would be somewhere between modern and traditional, I guess.
Okay.
Or contemporary is what I'm trying to go for.
Okay. Good.
Somewhere between there, I would have a bar, not alcohol serving bar, but for like events and stuff to keep drinks. That's one of the things I love about this place. A lot of plants. I'd probably do a white, black, and brown color scheme.
Okay.
Keep it not so like sterile, but like add enough accent to it that it doesn't feel like an office or doctor's office or anything like that. You know, add plant life and stuff. That would be my go-to setup.
Okay, great. I would come to your store.
Oh, thank
Well,
you.
of course I have to, because I'm the one that just said I was putting up the money. So,
Yeah.
if I had the money.
Oh.
Anyway, well, guys, thank you for joining us. We, I don't know if we went long or not, because our timer
Yeah, it
shut
got
down
cut off.
a little while ago. But anyway, if you have some ideas, please let us know. Post them on our YouTube page and our Facebook page for the Cigar Show on Facebook, the Cigar Show on YouTube, and let us know any ideas for future episodes that you'd like.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
let
for
us-
all the views.
Yeah, and let us know what y'all think. Like, what are y'all favorite aspects of cigar lounges and the overall aesthetic? Like, what does it for you?
Yeah.
And what do you absolutely hate? Let us
Absolutely.
know what y'all think.
Okay, great. Well, for super cool Tony Gomez, for the great Jerry Morris, for the gorgeous Faith Cox, I am the awesome Rainy Rain. Anyway, and this is the Cigar Show. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.